the history of the Payo schools in the province of Asia Pacific. I am Brother Al Nino B. Eder, SCHP. The Piarist mission took root in Asia in the year 1950 when the first missionaries arrived in Japan. 2 years later, they erected the first community in Yokohama. In 1955, the Piarists took over the Kaisei School. A new community was then established in Yokkaichi. In 1957, the two existing houses of Yokohama and Yokkaichi formed the provincial delegation from the province of Vasconia. In 1966, the House of Tokyo was established. It was only in 1972 that the parish of Yokkaichi was entrusted to the Piarists. The first missionaries decided to embark in another Asian country. After 45 years of being in Japan, the spirituality of Saint Joseph Calasanz reached the Philippines. In 1995, a new community was established in Cebu City, south of the country. And in February 6, 1996, the General Delegation of Japan-Philippines was erected. In 1998, the Calasanz Cultural Center Foundation Incorporated was established to provide a Catholic education to the poor students. In 2005, the Alberto Coronado Center was created to cater to more young students. For the locals, this center was called or popularly known as Center 2. To cater to the growing number of vocations in the delegation, a separate house was built. On March 5, 1999, the Calasanz Juniorette House in New Manila, Quezon City was constructed. Junior brothers are staying here while doing their theological and other related studies in preparation for future ministries. Another milestone happened on June 2, 2004, when the General Congregation was transformed into an independent vice province. It was named the Vice Province of Japan, Philippines. The Piarist charism continues to flourish and expand in the Philippines. In March 2006, the House of San Vicente in Camarines Norte was established. Bishop Benjamin Almoneda Didi, the Bishop Emeritus of the Diocese of Daet, entrusted to the Piarists the parish and the parochial school. Then, in June 2008, Bishop Antonio Tobias Didi, the Bishop Emeritus of the Diocese of Novaliches, entrusted to the care of the Vice Province, the Holy Family Parish in Gulod, Novaliches, Quezon City. The parish with its pastors continue to provide for the spiritual and pastoral needs of the faithful within the area. In 2009, brothers from different countries outside the Philippines were accommodated in a rented house in Horseshoe Village. These brothers undergo formation in preparation for their novitiate. Later in 2012, the Calasanz International House was transferred to its present location in Don Jose Subdivision, Commonwealth in Quezon City. The Piarist charism continues to be felt in the country, this time on the island of Mindanao. In March 2009, a new community in Davao was opened, in a rented house where the members of the community stayed for 2 years. In 2014, the Calasanz de Davao Academy Incorporated was established by the Piarist fathers to provide quality Catholic and Calasanzian education in the southern Philippines. Let's go outside the country. In June 2014, the Vice Province opened a new community in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. To provide for the growing number of Vietnamese vocation, the construction of the house kicked off on October 21, 2017. It was then solemnly blessed by Bishop Nguyen Tan Thuc of the Diocese of Phu Quoc on October 31, 2018. The following year, May 2015, a new community was opened in Quiblawan, Davao del Sur, still in the Philippines. The Piarists were assigned to run the Holy Cross of Quiblawan Incorporated, a diocesan high school, and at the same time, the Santo Niño Quasi-Parish Mission Station in Molopolo District, Quiblawan. The Piarist mission in the Asia-Pacific continues to flourish. Grace upon grace was poured by the Lord with an increase of vocation among the young ancient men. Just recently, in 2020, we celebrated the 25th anniversary of the Piarist presence in the Philippines. The Filipino Piarists were always grateful to the first missionaries who planted our presence in Japan for more than 70 years now. However, the year-long activities became limited because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Nevertheless, the celebration continued, which was capped by the erection of the Vice Province as Province of Asia Pacific by the General Congregation on October 3, 2020. Presently, the Province of Asia Pacific is institutionally present in Japan, Vietnam, and the Philippines. It has two small personal presences in China and Papua. It has religious in Italy and Indonesia. We have a Piarist brother from South Korea. It has young aspirants from Myanmar and Laos. And it has vocational pastoral works in other countries of the continent. It began small, but is now flourishing and very promising, like that of a mustard seed. Father Pedro Aguado, our Father General, in his letter to all the religious of the province of Asia Pacific in 2020, wrote, and I quote, "We start with small presences, but little by little, with God's favor, with boldness and patience, with generous co-responsibility, in the missionary spirit, the order grows and becomes a space of welcome, mission, and kingdom." End of quote. This is the province of Asia Pacific. This is the timeline of the Piarist presence in Asia. On behalf of all the religious of our province, receive peace from the Lord. Thank you very much.